Call the meeting to order for the Rockingham County Board of Elections Board meeting for June. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, we are in June, aren't we? For June 17th, 2025, at the Rockingham County Governmental Center. I'd like to welcome our board members and our guests and those who are watching us at home online. I will now ask Nelson Cole to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing, our invocation today will be presented by Pastor Jonathan Cross of Central Christian Church in Eden. Thank you, Mr. Cross.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the amazing day that you've already blessed us with. God, may we realize, and sometimes it's hard for us to realize just how blessed we are. And may we not take our blessings for granted. But Father, I want to pray especially for this time and over the next few moments in this meeting. I pray for wisdom and discernment. And those that will be speaking today, I pray that you will give them clarity in their speech. I pray that you will be with each one. And I pray for your sovereign hand and blessing and protection upon each one that will participate today for their families. I pray for strength and, God, for guidance. God, you blessed us with so many freedoms, and I pray that, again, we give you honor and glory, and we give you thanks for all that you blessed us with. And it is in your name I pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to request a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. At this time, I need an approval of the board minutes for May 20th, 2025, the regular meeting minutes, and May 20th, 2025, the closed session meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. At this time, we will have public comments. And Paula, if you would read the public comment statement for us.
Okay, the public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to the Board of Elections business or items on the Board of Elections agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Elections and not to staff, the audience, or media. The chair shall open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when he or she approaches the podium. Each speaker shall be allotted 3 minutes.
First name on the list, Reverend Marcus Fairley. You would state your name and address, please.
Marcus Fairley, 2512 Sunnycrest Drive. Good morning, everyone. I am Reverend Marcus Fairley, the 17th pastor of the historic Zion Baptist Church. I must say that coming here this morning was not a part of my agenda. I have 2 members in the hospital, one at Baptist and one at Annie Penn Hospital, that are a part of my morning agenda. However, as shepherd, we must not only care for the sheep, but we must also guard the sheep from wolves. For over 125 years, Zion Baptist Church has been a beacon of light and liberation in Rockingham County, and under my leadership, I intend for that to continue. Just a little over 25 years now, we have added our Family Life Center, which has become a facility that has housed events for every demographic in our county. Events from corporate meetings to family reunions, markets, business expos, and a host of other communal functions. These things have happened with very little incident or accidents involved over the course of time. Most recently, we were a precinct for voting, and over the span of 20-plus days, we were restricted to the use of our Family Life Center because we believe that democracy is interwoven within our faith. We opened the Family Life Center so that citizens of this county could come in and cast their ballot. We had volunteers and staff of our church in place to offer assistance and to ensure that all citizens were accommodated during these hours. I was present several days as well. I'm not sure of the motive of the individual that shared the allegations in question on election night. However, I have reduced it to nothing more than political gameplay. I was present on election day and there until the polls closed and staff prepared to leave. Everyone was safe and no disturbance nor incident was reported. Some of you on this board complimented our edifice, how spacious and convenient it was, in addition to how friendly the staff and volunteers were. I'm sure whatever the misunderstanding was concerning the unprovoked comments of the individual, that you all as a board have done your due diligence and will proceed in a manner that places people over politics. In closing, let us not contribute to the chaos in our nation, but rather offer resolve and decency to our citizens and most of all to our neighbors. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Marcus Fairley. Our next speaker is Joyce Anderson.
Good morning. I'm Joyce Anderson, 3008 Edwin Place. I would like to yield my time to Rochelle Tucker.
Rochelle Tucker is our next speaker. She will have 6 minutes to speak.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam. Rochelle Tucker, 643 Grooms Road. Thank you all for the opportunity to share my sentiments and thoughts regarding the information and suggestions made to this board recently regarding the Mall Street precinct that's now housed at my church, Zion Baptist. I currently serve as the minister of music there and have been there since April 1988. I am keenly aware that an appeal has been made to this board to remove Zion as a precinct because it has been accused of being unsafe for voters. It's interesting that my records show that I came to this board back in February 2014 with objections at that time of removing the Mall Street precinct from the school because the school location was being accused of being unsafe. At that time, I believed that such an accusation was ridiculous. However, the plan was carried out. Here I am 11 years later, and the unsafe issue has surfaced again. Last fall, during the early voting period, there was a domestic dispute down the street between a man and a woman in the 600 block of West Harrison Street. And it resulted in some gunshots or gun being fired, and I've seen the reports as well. And the location of that dispute was closer to the hospital than it was to Zion Baptist Church. I have attended Zion since my childhood, and as a current staff member there, I am in and out of that building just about every day at different times of the day and the night, and we host breakfast, lunches, evening meals, dinners, worship services, and all kinds of meetings there. Never once have I felt unsafe or have I heard anybody else say that they felt unsafe either coming in or going out. It would be ridiculous for this board to consider a location change for an isolated incident, or maybe it was a couple of incidents that occurred in the next block from the church that were unrelated to the church, unrelated to the voting situation. And most of it was unrealized by the folks who were in the building or the folks that may have been outside. I have polled precinct officials and other church leaders who were covering the early voting period during the times of those incidents, and unsafe wasn't in anybody's mind. Zion Baptist Church and no other location can neither predict nor prevent when a domestic dispute is going to happen. Citizens often fail to vote because they don't know the location of the precinct. Relocating the Mall Street precinct once again would lead to another whole period of trying to re-educate folks concerning the location of the new precinct. People have become accustomed to voting in Zion. They know where it is, it's an easy location to get to, and contrary to what others have said, it is easy access to the parking lot, and the parking is sufficient there. And furthermore, if the parking gets a little congested sometimes, is that not a good problem to have? Our NAACP goal is to get more and more voters to participate in the process. And just to help those who don't like the celebratory mood that we exercise at the precincts, African Americans were not given full access to voting until the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1965. We have not had all of the rights of white Americans. Therefore, yes, we are excited about getting out to vote, and will continue to encourage more of our brothers and sisters to participate in the process. We are working to expand voter participation, not move backwards. We should, as a people, Democrats, Republicans, whatever other parties there are, we should be trying to protect and expand the access to voting rights and not attempting to restrict or suppress them. Our deep concern for the citizens of this county is that there should never be any rule that denies or abridges the right to vote. That is why whatever this elections board passes regarding the voting precincts, it must be and will be examined under the microscope of the Constitution and its protections. Voting is every American's right, and some would say it's every American's duty. So let's just eliminate any additional confusion, and please just leave the Mall Street precinct where it is. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Rochelle. Our next speaker is Lisa Harris.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Harris. I'm at 311 Short Avenue, and I don't need to model any other of the comments that you've already received today. But as a resident of Rockingham County, I want to thank each of you for being diligent this term to look out for the people in Rockingham County. I appreciate you conducting yourselves because we left a past board of elections that was full of chaos. I want to also thank you as you move forward and as the new board comes about, that we still want you to continue to advocate in your communities for a collaborative community to ensure that we have, do not create barriers for historical marginalized communities, and to dismantle systemized racism and white supremacy's benefits of individuals and communities, and remember the foundation and principles of what everybody is standing for. I want you to thank where we started from. We started by invoking you in the responsibilities for operating voting sites, maintaining voter registration lists, and handling many other aspects of the election administration. Yes, we have some changes in North Carolina, but we do not have it without the people of North Carolina pushing behind those changes. I'll bring to you to remember that we have a lot of things that was in the budget. I listened to each and every one of every board meeting talk about the budget. You talked about your needs. We listened to the director's reports. We understand that the Board of Elections statewide, as well as Rockingham County, has had various millions of dollars of budget restraints. But we also realize that we have $1.2 million that mysteriously has been funneled into the Board of Elections statewide to fund political party assigned political assignments, partisan political assignment positions that will not be reporting to state officials, but will be reporting as it relates to their parties. So I bring to you today, I'm not going to repeat anything else I've already said. But I want to encourage you, don't fall for the hype and the political commentaries that people come before you to talk about. Stick with the facts, and as new board members come about, what you see today is only a small picture of what you'll see the next Board of Elections meeting. Thank you, and thank each of you for all that you do.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Our next speaker is Ella Allen.
Good morning. My name is Ella Allen. I'm from Eaton, North Carolina, and I'll yield my time to Malcolm Allen.
Malcolm Allen.
Malcolm Allen, Eaton, North Carolina, Highway 770.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
I want to do that because I think sometimes we have to be reminded. We have to be reminded of the country we're living in and the sacrifices that was made to get here. Nothing is more disturbing than to have your community and your people mischaracterized and disrespected. More and more, we see evidence of a power grab when one party makes it so difficult for individuals to practice their constitutional rights, the right to vote. Now, not too long ago, there were a ruckus at the local Republican headquarters, which got so bad, allegedly, that tires were flattened outside the headquarters. I understand law enforcement was involved. Researching, I found not one request for law enforcement assistance since Zion was designated as a voting precinct. The Republican headquarters can't say that. All right, moving forward, the person in charge and chairman of this party whom lost control of a few people came here to make a request on the lack of safety of a precinct in our community. When you can't control the safety of your headquarters, don't attempt to control our community. The actions you have shown tells me you are more interested in attacking communities than attacking crime. One so interested in the welfare of citizens has contributed to electing the most dangerous president in decades, where no constitution or laws are safe. We have witnessed a 6-month delay in the certification of a judge right here in North Carolina because the Republican Party didn't like the results. We saw Capitol Police almost beaten to death because the party didn't like the results. We saw an attempt to capture and hang the Vice President of these United States of America because the party didn't like the results. Now, on a local level, you seek to chip away at our democracy. We, the people of Rockingham County, will not sit idle while you attempt to accomplish this under your false and misleading evidence, claiming there are incidents happening up the street jeopardize the safety of voters at Zion Precinct. This is straight from the Republican playbook. There's an old saying that says, sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine. I hope and pray this board here will deny that request because it's the right thing to do. If not, you may
gain a few seats in the government, but is it worth risking hell? Oh yeah, hell is real, and the last judge can't be bought. No party is worth going there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Our next speaker is Jeff Webster.
Hi, I'm Jeff Webster, 4135 NC Highway 135, Stoneville. Some know it as Shiloh. I've had the honor of being the County Democrat Party Chair for the last couple of years, and I know election officials in North Carolina are dedicated to keeping voters safe and ensuring a smooth election process. While no polling place can be completely free of challenges, there are effective measures in place to uphold that security and organization. A 50-foot buffer zone exists from the entrance where electioneering and other activities are prohibited, safeguarding voters from any form of harassment or intimidation. With capable election officials in charge, chief judges and site managers are ready to take action whenever necessary. Should any issues arise, they can swiftly reach out to the County Board of Elections and law enforcement for support. Law enforcement is also present, remaining nearby to respond promptly if needed and conducting drive-by checks to maintain order. It's crucial to remember that both state and federal laws protect voters from intimidation and coercion at polling places, allowing everyone to cast their ballots freely. Our county election officers have put various safety features and security protocols in place to enhance that voter protection. While it's wise to stay aware of any political tensions, the teamwork between election officials and the law enforcement focuses on creating a safe and secure environment for all voters. Our vote is powerful, and we are confident that every effort is being made to ensure that all of us can express it without concern. Now, directly to this board now, as I've watched you over the last year or two, I admire the diligence with how you've went about your duties, and I think you've set an example not only for future boards in Rockingham County, but across the state and nation. I applaud your efforts and the staff as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. Our next speaker is James Anderson. You're not going to speak, sir? All right, thank you. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to our director, Paula Seamster, who will go over the director's, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. May I say something?
Yes.
I'm from Eden, as most of you know, and I'm not very familiar with Reidsville. So based on the information we were given in our last meeting regarding the Moss Street precinct, I went to the Reidsville Police Department and spoke with the deputy chief about this particular incident. There were 2 calls made apparently, but both of them revolved around the same incident. It has been described here as a domestic incident. The deputy chief described it to me as an incident involving teenagers and somebody had a gun. The incident occurred some 400 to 500 yards away from the polling place, 2 football fields away from the polling place. The polling place itself was not implicated in any way. I asked further whether there had been any sort of incidents like this previously that involved the polling place. I was told no, and the area is generally safe. That's what I think we need to take away from this, that area is safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hampton. Any other discussion, questions? At this time, I'll turn it over to our director, Paula Seamster.
Okay, I just have several House bill updates. The first is on House Bill 66. House Bill 66 was introduced on February the 5th to reduce the amount of early voting dates. If this bill passes, early voting would begin on the second Monday before the election and run through the Saturday before Election Day for a total of 6 early voting days. No action has been taken since February the 6th, when it was referred to the Committees on Rules, Calendar, and Operations of the House. And I looked at this bill late yesterday afternoon, and still nothing else has been taken. Are there any questions or comments on House Bill 66? Okay, moving on to House Bill 127. House Bill 127 was introduced on February the 13th. This bill is to enact an act to require that the State Board of Elections develop a sample voter registration form to be used for organized voter registration drives. On February 24th, action was taken to serial referral to the state and local government stricken, and nothing else has taken place since February the 24th. Are there any questions or comments on House Bill 127? Okay. House Bill 411. House Bill 411 was introduced on March 17th, 2025. This bill is an act to reduce the early voting period for all elections other than general elections from 17 days to 6 days. On March 18th, action was taken to refer to the Committee on Rules, Calendar, and Operations of the House, and nothing has been done to this bill since then. Are there any questions or comments on House Bill 411? Okay, House Bill 580. House Bill 580 was introduced on March 31st, 2025. This bill is an act to make various election law changes as recommended by the North Carolina State Board of Elections. The last action was taken on April the 1st, 2025, to refer to the Committee on Rules, Calendar, and Operations of the House, and it still remains there with no further actions. Are there any comments or questions on House Bill 580? Okay. The next item on the agenda is political party changes in SEIMS. As this board is aware, after the general election, any new parties that do not have 2% of their new party voters to vote, they are no longer qualified to serve as a state-recognized political party. Right now, the only 3 political parties in North Carolina that are represented or recognized is the Democrat Party, the Libertarian Party, and the Republican Party. We were told that these would be taken care of in SEIMS by the end of May. Now we're being told that these inactive parties would be removed no later than June 17th, which is tomorrow. I have asked if these voters would be notified, and I have not received a response as of yet. But that's where it stands right now. It could change, but tomorrow is the deadline for all this information to be changed in the SEIMS program. Are there any questions on that or comments? Okay. Campaign finance. Most of you are aware that a reporter from WBTV asked for an individual's campaign finance records that dated back to 1998. The Rockingham County Board of Elections is responsible for following the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources and Archives record retention and disposition schedule for campaign finance records, as well as other records that we keep in our office. The latest schedule was approved on April the 4th of 2012. Since then, campaign finance records can be destroyed 3 years after the close of a campaign finance committee. Prior to April 4th, 2012, campaign finance records were kept at least 2 years, counting from the date of the election, which such reports were filed. As it relates to the candidates and treasurers themselves, they are only required to keep their records for 2 years starting from that election date. That's the way it's been, and that's how it is now. The office had this particular candidate's campaign finance records from January of 2017 forward. We're not sure what happened to the 2014 to 2016 campaign finance records, but prior to that, they were not required to be kept. The Executive Director of the North Carolina Board of Elections, Sam Hayes, and myself had a conversation on Friday, June the 6th, regarding the state board sending investigators to our office to look at our campaign finance reports. 2 state board investigators came on Monday, June the 9th, and were in our office most of the day. They were expecting to stay for 2 days, but they completed all of their work in less than 1 day. At the end of the day, the investigators stated that everything was in order, and they were both impressed with the record keeping and the way that our office conducted the campaign finance reports. We will be receiving a follow-up report of this investigation once they have gotten in touch with all the individuals that they wanted to talk to regarding the campaign finance. And once we receive that, it will be shared. But are there any questions on this or comments?
Board members.
Okay. The next thing is the letter to political parties. On June the 9th, an email was sent as well as a letter was mailed to the chairs of the political parties in Rockingham County asking for recommendations for individuals to serve as chief judges and judges for the 2025 municipal election, the 2026 primary election, and the 2026 general election. The Board of Elections will be appointing chief judges, and assistants at its meeting on Tuesday, August the 19th, 2025, as required by the North Carolina general statutes. Are there any questions or comments on that? But in your packet, you have a copy of that letter that was sent. All right, the next.
This was sent to all the party chairs?
The 3, yes, ma'am. Okay, the new board member appointments and information. The North Carolina State Board of Elections will be making appointments to the Board of Elections on Tuesday, June the 24th of 2025. They will appoint 2 individuals from the Democratic Party and 2 individuals from the Republican Party. The state auditor will also be making an appointment to the chair of the Board of Elections on Tuesday, June 25th. The board members will start serving once they are appointed, but they will not be able to take any actions on any Board of Elections items until they are sworn in on Tuesday, July the 22nd, 2025 at 12:00 p.m. Are there any questions on that? Okay. The next item is the North Carolina State Board of Elections Summer Conference. The North Carolina State Board of Elections will hold its summer conference in Wilmington on Sunday, July the 27th through Tuesday, July 29th. The new board members need to attend at least one conference within 6 months of taking office. If they're not able to attend the July summer conference, there will be a winter conference, which will be held January the 26th and the 27th. So are there any questions on that? Okay, I do have one more thing, and that is that the 2025 municipal election candidate filing will begin Monday, July the 7th, starting at 8:00 a.m., and will run through Friday, July the 18th, and will end at 12 p.m., which is noon, for any candidates that want to run for the 6 municipalities in Rockingham County. And that is all I have, unless y'all have any other questions or comments.
Any questions? Thank you, Paula. At this time, I believe Paula has a presentation to make.
If I could get the board members to come up front,
All of us?
all of you. And so y'all know, if you do not know, this is Kathy Clark. She is our Senior Deputy Director at the Board of Elections. And Paula was not able to be here today. She is our Deputy Director with the Board of Elections. If y'all will come front and center. As you know, this is this board's last board meeting. So we wanted to present them with certificates, and what it says is this board member to the Rockingham County Board of Elections recognizes the outstanding contributions of, and it has the board member's name, and then it has when they started serving to when they ended. So we'll just start with Tom Schofield. So Tom actually started serving on the Board of Elections July of 2021 through June 2025. He served as secretary from July of 2021 through June of 2023. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And he was our analytical person. Anything that needed to be analyzed or looked at, Tom did that for us, so we'll be there. I'm sorry. No, you're fine. So next, we have Thurman Hampton. He has served on the board since July 2021 through today, June 2025. He's helped us legally off the record. No, he's helped us with a lot of different things that we've had come up that we would not understand legally. He clarified and helped us a lot with understanding. No, we didn't pay him, but he helped us understand some of the general statutes. As most of you know, that can be very confusing and convoluted. We don't understand it, but this man does. So we really appreciate that and appreciate everything he has done for us as well. So next is Miss Sarah Totten. She has served on the Board of Elections since July of 2021 through to, well, it'll be through next Tuesday, but June of 2025. She has served as the secretary of the board since from July 2023 to June 2025. We want to thank her for all of her advice and everything she's done to assist our chair, and we really appreciate everything she's done. And then Nelson. Nelson is our longest serving member. He came on during the general election of 2020, during COVID, during everything else that was going on during 2020. So he has served since November of 2020 through June of 2025. He served as the secretary from March of 2021 through June of 2021. And he's helped us a lot with understanding some of the things that the General Assembly does, because he served with the House of Representatives. So this has been a tremendous board to work with. We're very grateful to them. We do not know who's going to be appointed. As our next board members, hopefully we'll get some of these back, but we're not sure. We'll find out on the 24th. Ophelia could not be with us today, our chair, Ophelia Wright. She is sick, so y'all keep her in your prayers. But Ophelia has served as our chair from March of 2021 through June of 2025. So I really appreciate everything y'all have done, and our staff has grown very fondly of all of you, and we will miss you greatly.
I just want to say thank you so much as well, and you will be greatly missed, all of you. We love y'all.
I have one comment. This has been a real learning experience, serving on the Board of Elections, the rules and trying to interpret them, and with Thurman's guidance, we've gotten through most of that. But the real joy has been working with the group, and especially with Paula. She's one. We're blessed. Thank you.
I'm gonna do something I normally do not do, and that's hug people. Well, now we have to go back to our desk and finish our
We got to
meeting.
do the hard part.
We got to do
adjourn.
yes. So,
Before we adjourn, I would like to say that our job has been made much easier by the director and her staff. They have always been quick to help us with any issues or any needs that we had, and it has been a wonderful experience made better by working with Paula and her team. At this time, I need a motion to
Madam Chair,
adjourn.
one comment.
Sure.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't recognize today Ophelia Wright. She just has done a wonderful job, and it's not been an easy job. And we really do appreciate her being a part of the board.
Thank you, and I agree with that. She's worked very well with the rest of us, and like Paula, anything that we needed or any questions, she was quick to answer and help. That combination has made this board's job much easier. At this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned at 10:45.